All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this is episode 23 of my custom Kingdom Death Monster campaign. This being Lantern Year 8, the Hunt phase. All right, so for this episode, I've decided to pursue the level 1 Screaming Antelope. The reason for that is because my population of people that can actually go on hunts who can actually use survival is only 6. So if I have a total wipe or lose a lot of people, I'm in danger of not be able to proceed with my settlement. And you lose the game if your settlement goes to 0. So if I don't have people to fight, I'm guaranteed I'm going to lose. So I want to keep that at a reasonable that I can have total wipe and still have people that can go out. So I'm not going to attempt that just yet. But the other thing I was considering is, since I only need one more piece off, potentially, the Screaming Antelope, this could very well just be the last time I fight it on level 1 anyway. Because I think then, after eating Nemesis Encounter, that's going to happen the following year, according to the calendar of events on the settlement sheet, that I think I'm going to pursue the Phoenix. Remember, the Phoenix Feather from a couple Lantern years ago is what killed Volatile, right? So that's the plan. Now, before we get started with the departure, there was an error I noticed I caught when I was reviewing this last episode stream, which I originally was doing it correctly, and then I forgot that I was doing it correctly. And that had to do with the endeavors. So remember, during the last video, these are endeavors. And typically, again, you get one of these for every returning survivor. But I only had 3 returning survivors. That means I should have only gotten 3, right? But Eltcore, remember, had the ability to tinker. So when he comes back, he gets an additional one, which would have been 4. And that's why I did 4 endeavors. But even though I called it out last video, I had forgotten when I started calculating was because Eltcore had post-traumatic stress, that means he can't spend or generate any endeavors. So what would have been 4, because he wasn't in it, was now only 2. And I did 4 endeavors. So what I did is I retroactively went back and said, okay, what would I have done if I only had 2 endeavors? So I would have still made this stone circle, and then I would have shared Red Fist only, because Red Fist was more important than Extra Sense, even though both are really good. And I would have done the face painting last, just as a way to try to counteract the deficit of survival and the increase of insanity. So I got rid of Extra Sense on everybody, and then I had adjusted their insanity and survival based on not doing face painting, but take into account the penalty and bonus of murder, which was everyone gets -2 survival when they depart, but +5 insanity. So I had adjusted everything. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that error that I had caught. Now, in addition, I had already set up the 4 characters I'm going to set out and depart, and so that's what I'm go through. We're going to do the departure, the rest of the explanation for that, then we're going to do the hunt, and then we're going to do the setup for the showdown, because this is all strategy having to do with hunting the monster without doing the final battle, which will be next stream. Alright, so the 4 people I decided to set out is Adam, Emily, Eve, and Samantha. Which, if you recall, is actually the family, the entire family. It's both parents, Adam and Eve, and Samantha and Emily, who were the... Wait, am I doing it right? Adam and Samantha were the parents, and Eve and Emily were the twins. The reason I'm doing that is because the family unit has a pretty good spread. You have people that have no experience, you have somebody with 1 and somebody with 2. and they have pretty good stats. While at the same time, I didn't want to use all of my elite people, because worst case scenario, if people died, I have people that can take over. These two who are more elite. Remember, Oko had the spear, and Timothy was the marrow hunger person who ate skulls. And then I have a couple people that I could bring out, but have apathetic, meaning they can't spend or gain survival. So that's what I mean by I only have 6 people, because the apathetic people can't use survival. And then Isma is just a lost cause, who's just providing the certain abilities. Alright, so, and for the miniatures, I had updated a couple. I didn't make any new ones yet, but I will definitely consider making new ones after, if I get past the Screaming Antelope on some of the look of these people. I have to say, it's a little difficult because it's hard to keep a certain sex unless I always have females do certain roles, always males do certain roles, which I could do going forward. I know right now I've just sort of been mix and matching based on stats that worked. Because like if I update the miniatures with gear and weapons, if I don't keep the same sex, then the miniature's gonna not have the right sex. But you know, it's gonna be close anyway. So the ones that I currently already had was, I'm using the axe for the club still. I'm using the spear for the spear, which is the actual spear, and the actual gear. This is the Screaming Antelope. This is the cat gear, which is going to be with person with guitar. So that's probably something I'll do in the future. So I'm still using this miniature for the person with the guitars. And then I'm bringing back this one for Adam, for someone with 2 clubs. I just want to do someone with 2 small items. So he's pretty aggressive. So I'm doing that for Adam. Alright. And then let me show you what the current builds are that I'm doing. I'm hoping this doesn't disconnect into power. Could. If it disconnects for some reason, I'll just do part 1, part 2 of the stream. Okay. I want to show you the updated gear grids. So for the person with the bone club, it's pretty much the same build, but I had moved it so he now also has, or she now also has the bow and the clawhead arrow. Why? Because they're both cumbersome weapons. This way, this individual who can use dash pretty much for free, because you can regenerate the survival. So majority of the time you should be able to get it back. That way he can dash and then use the club if in close, but if still is a range away, could attack with the bow. Is the idea there. That way 2 cumbersome weapons can benefit from the regenerative survival. Above, it's the same build except for the weapon, and I had given this individual, Adam, the 2 skullcap hammers and blood paint. Why? Because with blood paint, you can activate 2 weapons, and if this person's doing multiple swings of the club, if I just get 1 perfect hit, then the monster during their entire next turn will have -1 speed, is the idea there. And then also, since he's got no armor, to give him the ability to drop aggro with fecal salve and potentially miss attacks with monster grease. Now the person with the spear, which currently is Emily, of course, is the person I'm giving all of the Antelope gear, because when I have a full set, I'm going to get the full bonus of using a spear, is the idea there. And then since there's so many blue squares being activated, I gave this Emily also the Lucky Charm to get some bonus luck. And then she also has the ability to affect the monster. She'll have the harp as well as the cat eye circlet to manipulate moods and hit decks of the enemy. And then also gave a frenzy drink, which most likely I'm not going to use this battle, but just a way that she can give herself extra speed and extra strength to penetrate with the spear. And then lastly, for Samantha, is using the typical cat build, but I had also because I gave up the Cat Eye Circlet, gave her the Boss Mindy. Meaning, if she is next to anybody adjacent, when those adjacent people attack, they'll get +1 speed if they're insane. And currently, everybody's insane. So that's the current loadouts. And remember, Eve also has the full Rawhide armor set bonus, which provides bonus armor and the ability to regenerate survival. Whereas the White Line armor provides a bonus to armor and bonuses to using guitars. Alright, so that's the strat in a nutshell. The other thing I wanted to point out as I re-plug in power, just in case, is I had noticed there was a couple abilities that I was using and should not have. Fortunately, I only used them a couple times, but I realized it should not have ever activated. And those two were the two pieces on the White Lion gear set because they had puzzle pieces attached. Now, if they... and I forgot that I didn't have them completed. And I'll show those to you in close before we get started. So one of them was the White Lion boots. So because it's in this circle, means you only get the bonus if you satisfy this. And I actually didn't because I don't have 2 red square connections. So this individual should not get a +1 movement bonus. And then the White Lion helm, which I've only used, I believe, its ability once, ever, maybe twice, should have never activated because you needed to complete this red square and then have another completed blue square somewhere on your grid, which I also don't. So I can still benefit from having these for getting the armor and the set bonus. I just don't get the puzzle bonuses because I don't have those completed on the gear set. All right, so that's the corrections. And like I said, everyone already has their stats for departing. So we got 5 survival, 5 insanity, 5 survival, 6 insanity, 3 survival, 6 insanity, and 2 survival, 5 insanity. With, as long as I don't spend all my survival, or that not only 1 or 2, I'll still regenerate a bunch of survival with people's other stuff in the gear when they arrive. So with the idea to be as close to 5 survival as possible. All right, so that's a strat. We've done the corrections from last stream. We did the departure bonuses. Now we can do the hunt, and everything's already shuffled. All right, so I think starting out, again, I want to have people with the most defense start out, and also with the most survival. So in this case, I think I'll have Samantha go first. And I think I'll just go counterclockwise. Because Eve is my savior, who I want to make sure is available for a Nemesis Encounter. So we'll start with Samantha, and we'll just go counterclockwise. All right, we're ready to go. Let me get a little bit of water, and then we'll start the first hunt event. And honestly, in this game, just like when you play D&D or even any other board game, if there's a lot of rules and checks, we're human, we're going to make stupid mistakes or unintended mistakes, and the whole idea is just to keep the fun. So normally what I do is, if you've made a mistake, just be consistent. Or in this case, because they were in between streams, I can make the adjustment. But like if I counter this in the middle of the video, I would just keep going. Because, just to keep the continuity. You don't want to say, oh, let's undo everything we did, right? All right, cool. So we are ready to go. The idea here is to get, again, as many resources as possible off the Screaming Antelope, in particular hides of any kind, because I already have the 1 pelt I need. So if I just get hides is what I need. And I also want to try to get a balance, because I want to have the ability definitely next time to innovate as well. So I want to innovate, and I want to complete this gear set is the main things I want to do. But I definitely want to farm as much as possible. That's why I was considering doing level 2, But the risk of losing potentially 4 people and not being able to recover from something that had a choice just wasn't a good idea. I definitely see the value in fighting multiple level 2s, because over time you'll get 50% more resources. It just right now it's too big of a gamble, and I've already had too many gambles happen during the settlement phase that didn't go in my favor. So I'm just not in a situation that I can take any more huge hits. So if anything, I think it'd be cool to upgrade and doing the Phoenix, because Phoenix would have theoretically higher level stuff to pursue without having a huge spike in difficulty. All right, cool. Anyway, let's do it. So again, I have to get all the way to the Screaming Antelope, and then we'll start the event. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're starting with Samantha, and she is going to be, I was going to say the Haunt Revealer. She's the Hunt Revealer. Another good game, Betrayal at House on the Hill. Do recommend. All right, let's do it. So this first one is, wow, that is amazing that we keep ending up with this. Like, I've shuffled this deck multiple times, and we always end up somehow encountering it. Granted, the deck is pretty small. Like, there's probably 10 cards in the deck, but still, it's like, wow. Well, why I'm saying that is because I found a dead antelope. And so, again, here, I'll read you what happens. Unless there's multiple dead antelopes in the deck. That's also true. I don't know all the cards in the deck. That's also possible. The survivors are struck by the scent of rotting meat wafting from a hulking corpse ahead. The event revealer may lead the survivors to investigate. If they do, gain 1 random vermin resource, 2 random Screaming Antelope resources, and roll 1d10. On a result of 7+, the survivors are startled by the arrival of the antelope's killer, a white lion. Alright, so again we have this dilemma. 3 different things could happen. 1, we get free resources, and then we continue on the hunt as normal. The other thing that could happen is we get free resources, and then we have to fight a level 2 white lion. Which, like I said, I was contemplating fighting level 2 Screaming Antelope, so, and I would get, level 2 rewards if I killed the white lion. Then the third option is I don't get any resources, right? I don't get any resources, and instead I roll a random hunt event. So before I was, gung-ho about resources, I've always been gung-ho about resources. But when I had pursued that during the Showdown last Lantern year, going after the bug is what made Snahavium insane, which is also what doomed her. Because if she never got that super insanity from engaging that bug, she would not have gone crazy when the Screaming Antelope wailed. And that's what killed her. So I have to start being calculated risk on stuff that I encounter for stuff like that. Because in that case, it's actually what doomed her. Plus, then I was really hard on getting resources. Because I really wanted to complete the set as soon as possible. To move on to getting better resources. Because, I need to complete the set, but I know there's probably better stuff out there. But now I know I just need to kill the antelope, and I just need to, 1 out of the 4 resources, actually 1 out of 8 resources just needs to be a hide. It's there's nothing in particular I need off the Screaming Antelope, because I already have the pelt that I need to make it. I just need an additional hide. So the thing is by risking getting a free hide right now, I have potential of finding a level 2 white lion, and I don't think I want to do that. Just because I'm not sure I can. I definitely have the offense. I just don't think I have the defense because I have someone with no armor, and I have the opportunity here to complete a gear set to get bonus armor. It will actually add 2 bonus armor to everywhere. So actually, it'd be twice as armored as everybody else. So I just think it's a bad idea. So because of our bad experience, well, seeing that bad stuff can happen by looting, and you saw it, like even that time I investigated the Golden Crater, I think it was called. You know, I found resources, but bad stuff happened to everybody. So it just, do I want to make, you know, I mean, it's still a risk because if I don't fight a level 2 white lion or, you know, or fight the Screaming Antelope later, I'll still have to do a random hunt event here anyway. I just think I'm pressing my luck. I'll put it that way. I've learned that, you know, I want resources, but, you know, at what risk, at what cost? And I just don't think... I mean, it's cool you get another 2 free resources, but I can get that by carving him as well. So I think I'm going to not do it this time. Flavor-wise, there's also tons of hunts, events we have not seen. So, but I just think... I just don't think it's a good idea. Especially since this is the 3rd dead antelope. Every time I've gone after the Screaming Antelope, I've found dead antelopes. So I'm just like... I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to investigate. We're not going to do it. So instead, we're going to roll on the table. So we roll 2 of these, 2 different colors. Again, the white is the 10s and the black is the 1s. So rolling a D100. Okay, we rolled a 77. So let me go to the table and see what that is. And I'm just looking for the table. Here we go. All right, so I'm looking for 77. Sinkhole. A gaping sinkhole suddenly opens under the survivors, revealing a swirling black pool of ichor beneath them. Each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in case of a tie, becomes a straggler. So first I'm rolling to see if somebody is a straggler. All right. 1d10 for each. So I'll use 4 blacks to record each one. And I'll see if anyone has any bonuses. Does anyone have courage or understanding? No. Okay. So I'll start with the hunt revealer and go around. Samantha, rolled a 6. Emily, rolled a 5. Adam, rolled a 6. So far the lowest is Emily. And then a 10. So the straggler is Emily. Okay. Next. Each straggler rolls 1d10. If any other survivor has a whip, they throw a line to the straggler. Each straggler adds +4 to the roll. So I do not have a whip, so I just roll a d10 to see what happens to Emily. So we rolled a 5. A 5 You are dragged to safety, terrified, but unharmed. Phew, all right. So we avoided doom. We decided to not... We saw this rotting dead body. We had a bad experience with bugs. We're like, let's just not do it. But then we almost tripped in a sinkhole, but lived. So we did it. All right. Next person to go forward is actually Emily, who was a straggler. Right. So, because on this space, there is no Screaming Antelope hunt card, we again roll on the table. Right. We rolled a 10 and a 7, so that's 17. Wait a minute. If this was... Oh, I'm sorry, that counts as a 0. Because it goes 1 to 10. So it would be 0. So this would be a 7 in that case. All right, number 7. This one is Hungry Ground. Man, on this path, we just have all the stuff happening with the earth. At first we had a sinkhole, and this time the ground suddenly splits, and a gaping stone mouth attempts to devour the event revealer whole. The event revealer rolls 1d10. If another survivor has a whip, they throw you a line to save you. So what I'm seeing the trend here is it benefits from having a whip to save people. So that's interesting. Like a lifeline. So it's an interesting reason to have a whip now, because bad stuff can happen. This is the second time a whip would have helped. All right. So I roll a d10. Curiously, I wonder if I even have the ability right now to even make a whip. Now that I think about it, I'm just going to look right quick. Because, wow, I didn't realize that could be a problem. Yeah, I could make a rawhide whip for 1 bone, 1 hide. And I have ammonia. Interesting. I mean, especially if that's something that could save you during these hunts. I mean, shit. That's pretty huge. Okay. The event revealer rolls 1d10. So unfortunately, it's her again. First she slips into a sinkhole, now she's slipping again. So thematically, it still makes sense, because she's just clumsy. Okay, so she rolls d10. You got an 8. You managed to leap away in time. Phew, man. But seriously, that was lucky twice. I really think I should get a whip. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. I got lucky twice there on this. Okay, so we advance to this one. Oops. Okay, the next one going up is Adam, who's going to reveal the next space, which is a Screaming Antelope hunt card, which is Stampede. A thunderous boom approaches. The survivors may hide. If they do, move the quarry 1 space back. So I'll have to look up what back means. Does that mean the quarry moves here? Or does that the quarry moves here? Like, is this forward or is this backward? That's one thing I'll check, but I'll do that in a sec. If I don't do that, all survivors gain 1 courage and then roll 1d10. Okay, so let me see what the difference between forward and back is. Like, if everyone's running this way, like really, like we're pursuing the antelope, I'm assuming this is forward and this is backward, meaning that it would immediately start the hunt, because the stampede would be the stampeding antelope. But let me check, just to be sure. What counts as forward? Now, what did the wording say again? The quarry. Uh-huh. Okay. Keep up. Let's see. Move the quarry one space back. Just trying to see the verbiage. Like, I know graphically they're all facing this way, so this would be forward, and I'm assuming this is backward. I'm just trying to find anything that confirms. But if I can't find, then I'll just say moves back. We encounter the monster, which makes sense. It's like stampeding towards us. Sure. Distance. Verbiage. I mean, this says that the monster only moves if one of the cards says the monster's moves. Yeah, that's true, but what does forward and backward mean? Okay, so if that does happen, if the monster moves back into our space, because technically we're in that space, then that means the monster ambushes us, which makes sense because you see a stampede and we're hiding, but the monster gets a drop on us. So if that's how it's played, then what's going to happen is we're going to set up advantageous to us, but then the monster will get a turn before we go to the top of the round. So the monster will get two moves before our first move is what's going to happen. It doesn't say anything about forward or backward. But I know everybody faces this direction. So that would be forward direction. This would be backwards. It's like we're chasing the monster. Okay, so that's how we're going to play it. And that kind of makes sense thematically. There's a stampede, which is the monster who's going, rah, coming at us. Okay? So now the hunt is over, and now the showdown's going to begin. Cool. So actually, in this, we avoided two really bad traps in the earth. So nothing good happened, but nothing bad happened. So like I said, I was really leaning for, during this phase, just not have anything bad happen. Because, like I said, I'm worried about having too low of a population right now. And I've already seen that sometimes when you loot stuff, it's not always good. So it's like, I've taken a lot of hits already. Not worth the risk. Okay. So, let's set up. It was just funny that every time I do the hunt for the Screaming Antelope, I always found a dead antelope. Every single time. Interesting. Oh, And I have this here just because I wanted to show it to you. I don't know if I showed it to you before. Probably not, because I just unlocked it last video. I just wanted to show you a close-up picture of the settlement location, the stone circle. Pretty cool art. And then here's stuff you can get. Yep. All right. Cool. So now I'm going to set up the Showdown. So to set up, again, if you've seen my previous videos, you know the drill. It's going to be 6 Acanthus, a bug patch, and 2 random terrains. I've already shuffled resources stuff. We just didn't get any new ones. And the 2 other terrains will be a survivor corpse and a toppled pillar. So again, this is the long one that blocks line of sight, is not destructible, and a survivor can leap over as with an action. So that's interesting. And a corpse. So see, I could still loot a body, which I probably will. But what's interesting thematically, this shows that this Antelope aggressively has killed a survivor before. He's already killed someone else, and now he's running toward us, trying to kill us. Being the aggressor. Be aggressor. And then, of course, we have a bug patch, which we're probably going to avoid like the plague, because that was bad juju. And Acanthus, which is always good. Like, this is a gamble, but I think the corpse is less of a gamble, just because this is a living creature, and we don't know what's going to do. So I'll definitely mix up what we do. Okay, so I'll put this here for reference. Now we're just setting up the board. All right, so I need a toppled pillar, 6 of these, 1 of these, and a corpse. Here we go. I won't worry about setting up the cards for the Scream Antelope till between the videos, because that's not part of the strategy anyway. What I showed you is want to set up as far as strategy and what we're going to do. Especially since the Antelope's going to get 2 turns before our 1 turn, which is pretty significant. Okay, so the rules for the Antelope is definitely facing us, because it's coming to get us, for sure. And then, of course, we have to be somewhere on this first line, which is back here. So we have to be on this line somewhere. Let's scoot for time being. Okay. And then, what are the other rules? This has to be 6 spaces from all terrain, and then the column has to be 5 spaces away from the, at least 5 away from the monster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be placed here. But I could also place it closer. But it has to be at least 5 away. It's interesting about place it farther away, because I could use it to completely block us from attack. Because the monster can't actually crash through here. It'd have to go around. That's an interesting idea, just to avoid the initial attacks. We'll think about that. We'll come back to that. This has to be 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, if I recall. So the bug's over there, but I don't think I'm gonna mess with the bug, because that basically killed Snahavium last Showdown. So, and the fact that everyone's, when they arrive, is going to have almost 10 insanity, it's really risky. So I don't think I'm going to risk doing that again. At least not with something that's living like bugs. Okay. So then we have also plants, and this one has to be 6 spaces from all terrain. But something I'm thinking about looting. So if I put it here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can place there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could place it there. Okay. And then the plants are going to be any sprinkling around. I just try to space it out evenly. It's good. The fact that the monster could take 2 turns, I think I might do it like this. Or I can even do it like this. It just has to be at least 5 spaces away. Let me read that again just to make sure. At least 5 spaces away from the monster. So if I have it 1 space away like this, then it actually blocks line of sight initially from the monster. So I think I'll do that. It's just like if you've watched hockey or have played hockey, even like in elementary school, that the farther away the goalie is from the goal, the greater possibility of attacks to the goal you block. Because, for example, like if this is the goalie and this is the goal, if I'm close to the goal, you have a lot of area you can score. But if I'm closer to you, the area gets smaller because I'm closer to you, less range of attack. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm having a little bit farther away. That way its line of sight effectively hides everybody. Whereas if it was closer, she may be still a threat to the monster. Okay, that's the strategy there. This I want as close as possible because I want to loot this. I'm not going to loot that because, again, you know, that risking that is what killed a really important character last Lantern Year. And then to sprinkle these. But it has to still be in the diamond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could do something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. That kind of looks more organic. I'll keep it that setup. That looks good. All right, so we got 6 plants, the bug, a corpse of another survivor, and a column that we're hiding behind. Which makes sense because remember, we saw the screaming antelope. We heard a stampede coming. So this illustrates that we're hiding behind this column. But so we're protected from the stampede, but the antelope knows we're there. So as it was running toward us, we hid to hide behind the stampede, and which is what we did during the hunt. So story-wise, it fits, which is cool. All right, so we are set up. Now the last thing to do is to set all of the arrival stats that happen now. Okay? Which we're going to need strength tokens as well, because we do have somebody with red fist. If I were a strength token, where would I be? We're good. Okay. So, what happens on arrival? On arrival, all survivors get +1 survival because of the harp, and then whatever is independently on everyone's gear grid. So let's see what's up. And then also have to assign a monster controller, as well as who's going to be where. So we'll do the arrival bonuses, and then where the starting people are going to be and starting monster controller. And that'll be the stream for today. Okay, so first is Emily. Emily, I'm looking for the word arrival. So on arrival, she gets 1 survival and 3 insanity. So her insanity goes to 9. And survival goes to 4. Okay. And she gets 1 strength token. Samantha, arrival. Nope. So it then just gets 1 survival. So it goes from 2 to 3. Okay. And 1 strength, which you could use as a survival, so also an option. Eve, arrival, nothing, so just this bonus, 1 survival, is already at 5, so it's good to go. And gets 1 strength token. All right, and then lastly is Adam. Arrival, nothing. So this gets +1 survival, already at 5. And 1 strength token. So we have Adam at 5, Eve at 5, Emily at 4, Samantha at 3, but they also all have 1 strength token, which you can add the strength, or you can spend it in place of a survival. And then insanity, we have 5, 6, 9, and 5. Okay, so that's all the arrival stuff, unless I missed anything, which is totally possible. I have a lot of the parts and stuff you activate. The only rival looks like is the Whisker Harp. Yeah, because these are the part. And the part. Okay. So lastly, we want to see, I know I want my survivors to be here to hide from the first 2 attacks, but where do I want them to be? So Samantha has less survival, so I don't think I want her necessarily to take the initial attack. I probably want that to be Emily. But Samantha probably still has most... She's got 3 everything. This is basically 3 everything, but nothing on hand. This has got 2 everything. And this one only has the head, really good protection, but also has 3 to evasion. So it's like attack could just flat out miss. And no one has a range bonus for movement. Everyone goes 5. So my thought here is I could have someone wrap around this way, 1 person go over, and 2 people come across. And remember, I have someone that can pounce. So the people that have movement, I think should be here. I mean, as far as activated abilities, like full move forward, pounce 3 spaces. So I think I will have the slam be here. The pounce the slam is this one. The pounce is this one. And then we have stun and cumbersome. Cumbersome, this you'd have to spend an action to get across, so they won't take an attack to get across initially. But that may not be bad, because he can move, he can get in a good position, possibly. And then club person can wrap around or go across. Okay, so set up like that. Next, I want to see who's going to be the monster controller. This will change every time the monster takes a turn. So initially I'm too far away from the monster. The monster goes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for after 2 turns, it may still be too far away from us. So really, it's only turn 3 that's important. So because of that, I think I'll go... I think I'll go counterclockwise, starting with Eve. And do this, is what I'll do. So she'll start as the monster controller. With the idea, so the person that gets targeted by the 3rd time the monster does an AI will be this person, potentially. But no one's currently a target, so that may not hold true, but we'll see. Because unless there's some other sensibility, there's no line of sight on anybody right now. Once the monster moves over here, then there'll be line of sight. But the monster doesn't even know that we're over here, is the thing. So, which is sort of the idea. Unless I want the monster to be attracted to me for 2 turns getting close, and then have this adjacent so I can wrap around the monster. That's something else I could do. Because if I don't draw aggro initially, then the monster's probably just going to sit there and do stuff. So that's another idea. If the monster always moves 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is true. So if I have the only line of sight be this person here, I can guarantee that I can kite the monster all the way over here, and at the same time, then people can wrap around and attack. But again, like one of the cards that the monster could get is to eat Acanthus. So I kind of want to clear out the Acanthus before, because otherwise we'll do damage, and then he'll run away and start eating and get back all his hit points. So maybe I'll just keep with the original strategy. Because I think I want to engage the monster on my terms. I think. Because the other option is I could hide turn 1, and then turn 2 I can come out to try to get this. And then the monster might be attracted to me, and then we'll engage. That's another possibility. And the monster would still be too far away, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. Cool, so I think we are ready. All right, so that is the end of the hunt phase and the setup for the showdown. The next video will be the showdown with the Screaming Antelope, level 1. See what transpires. We got some cool new weapon combinations going on, and we have almost a full set of Screaming Antelope gear. And you know what? I may even try rocking the Frenzy Drink, but again, that's really dangerous just because the person that has the Frenzy Drink already has 9 insanity. So, and I don't want her to die, so it's not likely I'll use it, but you know, we'll see what happens. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. The next video will be the showdown. Again, this is Ismortah, and thanks for watching.